Hello friends. Now let us take up the second training session in our OCAJP Feel Good web series. In this training session, I am going to explain 5 core concepts which are highly useful to evolve as a professional, programming professional. Actually, one of the prime objectives of our system is inculcating professionalism from the inception. Actually, if I explain professionalism, practices and principles theoretically and all, you cannot understand that. They are quite abstract. That's why they should be taught in a practical aspect only. That I am going to do in this program, in this training session. Actually, in real life or programming, two aspects of performing task is there. First one is design, second one is implementation. For example, if you want to construct a building, in order to construct a building, you require several specialists like engineer, mason, transporter, plumber, painter, welder, etc., and all that. But before that, you approach a specialist, he is an architect. Architect, why you are approaching architect? To get the blueprint. First to get the blueprint of the building. Thereafter, strictly according to the blueprint of the building, you implement that. You implement it. So, here, in order to perform a task, there are two aspects. First aspect is called design. Second aspect is called implementation. For anything, without your knowledge, you do that. Suppose you want to go for a 1 week holiday trip. Just now you got an idea, but immediately you don't go for that. Before that, you make a lot of mental work. What mental work to do? Which places you have to visit? Who will accompany you? Where to stay? What is the budget? And which articles you have to purchase? All that. Lot of questions you pose and get the answers for all of them. That means first you complete the mental work. After completion of the mental work, then only you start implementing it. That means start reserving tickets for travel, hotel, etc., and all that. That you know that. That means what you did, first you did mental work, thereafter corresponding physical work started. Mental work is called design, physical work is called implementation. This real life you do. For simple things also, in order to perform a simple task also, your mind prepares a design, a blueprint without your knowledge. Then you implement it. A simple example I give you. You may wonder for this. Actually, you are residing in a room. You want to go for a breakfast. For doing this simple task, routine task, certain activities are to be finished. Then only the task is completed. Suppose you are residing in a room alone. Then which task you have to perform? Just think of. Your brain knows. You may not know that. If I ask you to write the list of all these activities, you may not write. Some activities are missing. In many colleges I ask, and 95%, 99% students couldn't write all the steps. Just I tell you, get ready, take wallet, close the room, lock it, go to the hotel, place order for tiffin, eat tiffin, pay bill, come to the room, open the lock and settle in the room. There are 11 steps. Actually, when I asked this simple question, 99% college students out of thousands, they couldn't write. But their brain knows it, but they do not know that. That means whatever your brain knows, you may not know that. That whatever I told you, the procedure, that is called design, or the list of steps are called algorithm. Technically, it is called algorithm. First, your brain prepares that algorithm, means design. Thereafter, your body, your hardware, implement that. What is your hardware? Your hands, legs, eyes, mouth, etc. All that are hardware. They implement that. For that, no much explanation is required. That means for every simple task also, your brain prepares a design, means a blueprint, or simply called as algorithm. Then your hardware, your limbs will implement it. So that means without having knowledge of this concept, you know that you are doing in real life. What is that? A design first, thereafter implementation. If it is small task, small design, big task, big design, small task, small implementation, big task, big implementation. First you have to understand that. Okay, now we let us talk about programming. Programming also, if you want to evolve as a professional programmer, you must do this. You must perform your task like this only, two steps. Actually, if you compare professional programmers and student programmer, college student programmers, a lot of difference is there. All professional programmers, whenever a task is given, first they complete their mental work. Once their mental work is completed, this is mental work. Thereafter, they start their physical work. Physical work means nothing but typing program or coding. Mental work first. This may be 50 to 60% of their task. This is 40 to 50% of their task. That point you have to understand. But what college students do? Whenever a programming task is given, 99% of the college students, even 100% also, they start typing. That means they never do any mental work. While typing only they do some mental work. Because of that reason, half an hour task, suppose a task requires half an hour time normally, they may take 3 or 4 hours also. Sometimes they may not get the result. They don't have any clarity. So that means what is the reason? They don't do any mental work. This is like you go for a holiday trip without doing any previous preparations. Then that is not a joy trip. It is misery, trip of misery. So mental work and physical work. Hereafter, whatever may be your previous habits in programming, I don't bother. Hereafter, now I am going to explain this program design and implementation, and you understand the spirit of these concepts. In this training session only, I am going to explain practically from a real life angle. Then you can easily, by watching this, you understand. Thereafter, whatever program I am going to teach you, that approach only. First mental work we finish, thereafter we start our physical work. Just for your information, one more example I give you. You write examination in college. While writing examination, what you do? One question. First you understand the question. Thereafter, which answer we have to write and all that, you conceive the answer. After complete plan, you start writing. That means what you did, first you complete the mental work. Your answer is ready mentally. Thereafter, you implement that. You write it on the paper. That means without your knowledge, you know this approach, design and implementation. Now, as far as program is concerned, I will explain to you. First one is design. For design purpose, mainly two design approaches are there. First one is top-down modular approach. Second one is a bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach. Top-down. Simply, actually, I am going to explain this only. Actually, top-down approach is like this. This model is like this. For example, you are flying high in the sky. Okay. Now, you look at the ground. Then everything is blur. Whatever elements are there on the ground, you cannot see. Everything is blur. Then at this stage, everything is blur. You come down. Gradually, from you landed, then everything with a naked eye, you can watch everything. Am I right? This is simple model of a top-down modular approach. Suppose, same example I extend, you want to construct a building. Now you see, hundreds of activities are there. You want, now we got an idea, and then in order to implement that, now I little later I explain that. Now in this way, if you analyze, then it will be clear how many steps you have to implement. This is a top-down modular approach. Okay. Now second one is a bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach means how you construct a wall, brick by brick. This is the way. This is bottom-up approach. So in programming design, two approaches are there. In this concept, I am going to explain top-down modular approach. practically with a reference to the construction of a building. Okay, now design is over. Now what about implementation? For implementation purpose, we have three paradigms. Actually, you must know the clear meaning of paradigm. Paradigm means, don't go by dictionary. Paradigm means implementation model. Simple example I give you. Actually, you want to go for a destination. For that you can implement different fashions. Reaching a destination, that is the task. Then you can implement different ways. Go by walk, using bicycle, use bike, use car, or go by bus. Different models are there. In the same way, once you design the program, thereafter you can implement in different fashions. Actually, in programming, three popular models are there. First one is sequential, or you can call it a procedural programming paradigm. Procedural programming paradigm. Second one is POP programming paradigm. Third one is OOP programming paradigm. Procedural programming paradigm is very simple. That is sequential programming paradigm. Sequential means how you write mathematics. In mathematics, you write all the steps, 10, 20 steps you write, ultimately get the answer. In the same way, we write programs like this stepwise. One task is there, we write statements, these are called statements or instructions. We write 20, 30, 40 statements. All these statements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 50 are implemented sequentially. Ultimately, your task is performed. That is simple thing. For that, you need not learn much and all that. That is procedural programming paradigm implementation model. Second one is FOP programming paradigm. FOP means in that basic element is a function. Function means nothing but real life specialist. Suppose in order to construct your building, you appoint many specialists like engineer, mason, transporter, plumber, welder, interior decorator, etc. And by collective contribution of all these people, your house is constructed. Those specialists are known as functions in programming. In programming, collective contribution of all the functions, the programming task is performed. Thereafter, much advanced is OOP, object-oriented programming paradigm. This is, in this approach, we see entire world is collection of objects. Every noun is an object. Suppose I am an object, you are another object. We are interacting with each other. By that, I am a teacher, you are a student. You are an object, I am an object. We are interacting with each other. By that, we are getting result. Suppose car is an object, driver is another object. Driver object interact with the car object. By that, they get result. In that way, it is there. Here, one very important thing you have to understand. FOP is subset of OOP. That's why first you master FOP. Thereafter, you can properly and a pragmatic manner you understand OOP. So, in this concept, I mainly explain top-down modular approach and function-oriented programming approach. If you are really master that, 50% of your programming study is over. Many students, 90% students, do not know the spirit of this and blindly they type coding, type programs and do the things. That's why you want to evolve as a real professional programmer. That's why you are studying OCJP. That is obvious. That's why you understand the spirit of all the concepts in this thing. Hereafter, whatever programs you are writing in this, first you complete your mental work. Thereafter, then only you start your physical work. Now, how you are doing in examination? And question is there. First, understand the question and conceive the answer. Entire answer you frame in the mind. Then you start writing. In the meantime, you get some points and all that. You make a scribbling and ultimately write that. In the same fashion, whenever you are writing small task or big task, first you complete your mental work. Thereafter, you start your physical work.